Hello friends, welcome to Prashant IAS. So friends, in the last class we were discussing about state emergency or president's rule. So friends, in this class we will continue our discussion further. So friends, as you can see on the screen, today we will discuss about a very famous case, SR Bommai versus Union of India case. Friends, actually this case is associated with president's rule or state emergency, and this is a very famous and important case for the concept of president's rule or state emergency. So friends, in this class we will discuss about SR Bommai versus Union of India case in a very detailed manner, and after studying this case I know that all your concepts related to president's rule or state emergency will be very crystal clear. Okay, so friends, now let's begin. Friends, for the aspirants of UPSC, actually the judgment of case is very important. The judgment of any case is important. Okay, so for example, if we are studying about SR Bommai versus Union of India case, so for us the judgment of this case is very important, because the question can be asked from the judgment in the UPSC prelims exam, or it can be asked in UPSC mains examination also. So the judgment is very important and essential for civil services prelims as well as for mains exam. But friends, before telling you the judgment of this case, first of all I would like to tell you the little background of this case. Okay, so what were the conditions going on which led to the filing of this case in Supreme Court? Okay, so first of all I will tell you the little background of this case, and after that we will discuss about the judgment of this case in a very detailed manner. So friends, for properly understanding the background of this case, first of all you need to understand that how the government is formed at the state level. State level means, for example, how the government is formed in Madhya Pradesh, how the government is formed in Karnataka, how the government is formed in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and so on. Okay. So friends, in the previous classes I taught you that how the government is formed at the union or central level. Okay, so I told you that first of all the parties decided, means the political party which is having absolute majority in Lok Sabha, that party forms the government, and after that the leader of the party becomes the prime minister, and then prime minister chooses other ministers. Now friends, in the similar way the government is also formed at the state level. Friends, as we have Lok Sabha at the union level, similar to that we have legislative assembly at the state level. Okay, so the function and work. Okay, so actually what happens that state legislative assembly is very similar to Lok Sabha. Okay, so what happens that I told you that the government is formed at union level by the Lok Sabha elections. Now friends, similar to that at the state level the government is formed by the legislative assembly elections. Okay, so now what happens that we know that there is party politics in India, means there are many political parties and these political parties fight the election. Okay, so here I will not take the name of any political party as usual, so we will imagine 4 hypothetical parties. So now let's suppose what happened that the elections are conducted for the legislative assembly of any state. So let's say for the state of Karnataka. Okay, so let's suppose that elections are to be conducted for the legislative assembly of Karnataka. Now friends, let's suppose that 4 political parties, political party A, political party B, political party C and political party B, these 4 political parties are contesting the elections. Now what happened, let's suppose that political party A got 55% votes. Okay, means political party A got 55% seats. Okay, not votes. Political party A got 55% seats in legislative assembly. Political party B got, let's suppose, 10% seats in state legislative assembly. Political party C got 20% seats in state legislative assembly. And let's suppose that political party D got all the remaining 50% seats. Okay. Now for the formation of government, it is necessary that a political party must get, one political party must get absolute majority in state legislative assembly. Now absolute majority means more than 50% of the total strength of the house. So now here you can clearly see that political party got only 10%, political party B only got 10%, C got 20%, and D got 15%. Now all these numbers are less than 50%. So none of these political parties can form the government. But here political party A got 55% seats. So now political party A will form the government. So what happens that first of all the parties decided that which political party will form the government. Now after that what happens, friends, then chief minister is decided. So what happens that the leader of majority party becomes the chief minister. Okay, who becomes the chief minister? The leader of the majority party becomes the chief minister. And once the chief minister is decided, then he chooses other ministers. Okay, and in this way entire COM is made, means entire council of ministers is made. Okay, now friends, what happened that in year 1988, okay, in year 1988, Janata Dal was the majority party in the state of Karnataka. Okay, so what happened that in year 1988, Janata Dal was the majority party in Karnataka. And friends, the leader of Janata Dal was S.R. Bomai. Okay, so S.R. Bomai was the chief minister. Okay, so what happened? What was the background? So Janata Dal was the majority party or the ruling party in Karnataka, and S.R. Bomai was the leader of the party. Means S.R. Bomai was the chief minister of Karnataka in year 1988. So friends, after that what happened that the 19 MLAs of this political party, means of Janata Dal. Okay, so what happened that the 19 MLAs of ruling party, they actually defected. Defected means what happened that these 19 MLAs wrote one letter to the governor. Okay, what happened that these 19 MLAs wrote the letter to governor and they said that we are taking our support back from the government. Okay, so what happened that 19 MLAs wrote a letter to the governor of Karnataka. 19 MLAs wrote one letter to the governor of Karnataka, and in that letter it was written that earlier we gave our support to the government. Okay, so I told you that government formed because the government was having the support of more than 50% of the MLAs. Okay, but now what happened that these 19 MLAs wrote the letter to governor, and in that letter it was written that now we are withdrawing. Okay, now we are withdrawing means we are taking our support back from the government. So it means that now we are no more supporting the government. Now we are no more in the support of this government. And friends, okay, so this means that they have actually defected from their party. Okay, so it means that they have actually defected from their party. Means earlier they were in the support of their party, but now they are no more supporting their party. Now they are no more supporting this government. Okay, so now I told you friends that for the formation of government, the support of more than 50% of the total strength of the house is needed. Okay, so it means that for the formation of government at state level, the support of more than 50% of the total MLAs is needed. Now what happened that 19 MLAs which were earlier giving their support to the government, now they have taken their support back. Now they were no more supporting the government. So one very important question was arised. Okay, so what happened? A very important question was arised, and that question was that whether this government is having the support of majority in legislative assembly or not. Okay, so what was the question? So the question was that whether the government led by S.R. Bomai, whether the government led by S.R. Bomai is having the support of desired number of MLAs or not. Means whether this government is a majority government or this government have lost its majority. Okay. Okay, so what was the question? So the question was that whether the ruling government, whether the government is having majority or it has lost majority in the state legislative assembly. Because earlier the government was supported by more than 50% of the total membership of the house, but now as 19 MLAs have withdrawn their support from the government, so it was a very important question that whether now government is also having majority in legislative assembly, or the government has lost majority in legislative assembly. Okay, so friends, in the yesterday's class I taught you that for the imposition of president's rule under article 356 of the Indian Constitution, okay, so president rule can also be imposed if the government has lost majority in state legislative assembly. Okay, so can you remember that in the last class I told you that if the government or the council of ministers has lost majority in the state legislative assembly, then on this ground president's rule or state emergency can be imposed in the state. So now what happened, that the governor of that state, okay, means the governor of Karnataka, now governor of Karnataka sent his report to the president of India. Okay, so what happened, that the governor of Karnataka sent one report to the president of India, and in that report what was written? So in that report it was written that sir 19 MLAs have defected from ruling party, means 19 MLAs have took their support back from ruling party. So ruling party has lost majority. Ruling party has lost majority in the state legislative assembly. So the government led by SR Bomai is not a majority government. And under article 356, okay, so and he told that now you should impose president's rule on Karnataka under article 356. Okay, so what governor did? So I am again repeating it for you. So the governor of Karnataka sent one report to the president of India, and in that report it was written that 19 MLAs have defected from the ruling party, means they have taken their support back from ruling party. So now the government has lost its support. Now the government has lost majority in the state legislative assembly. So the government led by SR Bomai is not a majority government. So under article 356 of the Indian Constitution, kindly impose the president's rule on the state of Karnataka. Now let's see what happened next. So friends, I told you that total 19 MLAs defected from the ruling party, means they took their support back from the ruling party. But what happened then, that 7 out of 19 MLAs, okay, means out of these 19 MLAs, 7 MLAs again wrote one letter to the governor of the state. Okay, what happened, that 7 MLAs again wrote one letter to the governor of the state, and they said that we are actually supporting the party. Okay, so what they said we are in the support of party, we have not taken our support back from party, we have not defected from the ruling party, and we are in the support of the ruling party. Okay, and there was other details also that how this all happened. Okay, so there is no need to go deep into the detail of their letter. Okay, so they explained that what happened and all the process. Okay, so we only need to know that 7 out of 19 MLAs. Okay, so now these 7 MLAs wrote the letter to the governor, and they said that we are in the support of party and we have not defected from the party, and they have also written in the letter the details that how this entire process went on. Okay, but there is no need that at this point of time we should go into the detail of that. Now friends, after this what happened, that the chief minister of Karnataka, means SR Bomai, the chief minister of Karnataka went to meet the governor of Karnataka. Okay, so what happened, that SR Bomai went to meet the governor of Karnataka, and he said that please sir, okay, so he advised him. So what happened, that SR Bomai advised the governor, and we can also say that he requested the governor to call urgent session. Okay, to call the urgent session of state legislative assembly. Okay, so what he advised him, he advised the governor to call the session of state legislative assembly, and what he said, that I will prove my majority. Okay, what he said, that I will prove my majority on the floor of state legislative assembly. I will prove that still I am having absolute majority in state legislative assembly. Okay, so what SR Bomai said, that even after this defection I can prove, give me a chance. Please sir, give me a chance. I can prove on the floor of house that I am having absolute majority in state legislative assembly. And friends, what is the way of proving majority in state legislative assembly? So similar to Lok Sabha, here also the government can prove its majority by bringing confidence motion. Okay, so government can prove its majority by bringing confidence motion. So now what SR Bomai said to the governor, SR Bomai advised him and requested him that, sir, please call the session of state legislative assembly. I want to prove that still I am having absolute majority in state legislative assembly and there is no need of imposition of president's rule. Okay, because still I am having absolute majority, I will prove it. I will prove it by bringing the confidence motion. I will prove it by the passage of confidence motion in the state legislative assembly. But friends, even after the support letter of these 7 MLAs, even after the request of SR Bomai to give him a chance to prove, okay, so that even after the request of SR Bomai, so SR Bomai requested the governor to give him a chance to prove his majority in the state legislative assembly. Okay, so SR Bomai wanted the governor to give him a chance so that he can prove that still he is having absolute majority in state legislative assembly. What governor did? So the governor of the state didn't give him any chance. Governor didn't call any session of state legislative assembly. Instead, again he sent one report. Again he sent one letter to the President of India, and in that letter it was written that the government led by SR Bomai, the government led by Janata Dal, that government has lost the majority in the state legislative assembly. So sir, please as soon as possible kindly impose the state emergency or president's rule in the state of Karnataka. So now based on the second report of governor, now this time under article 356 of the Indian Constitution, President of India imposed state emergency or president's rule in the state of Karnataka. Now I told you that when the president's rule is imposed in any state, then first of all the council of ministers headed by chief minister, means the government. So first of all the government is dismissed. And what happens? Okay, first of all the government is dismissed. So what happened? That now SR Bomai was removed from the post of chief minister and the entire government was dismissed. Now friends, you can clearly see here that it was injustice. It was wrong. Why it was wrong? Because SR Bomai needed a chance. So if he was requesting, then he must be given one chance to prove his majority, because it was not proved that whether he has lost majority or not. So I told you in the beginning that the question arised. So it was just a question that whether he is still enjoying majority or he has lost majority. So it was not clear that whether he has lost majority or not. And moreover 7 MLAs again supported him. Okay, so now, okay, and when he requested the governor to give him a chance, then it was the duty of the governor to call the session of the assembly and to give SR Bomai a chance to prove his majority. But without listening to SR Bomai, without listening to these 7 MLAs, governor again sent the report to the president, and president on the report of governor imposed president's rule on the state of Karnataka. So friends, now SR Bomai was sure that it is just a political conspiracy to remove him from the power. So now what he did, that now SR Bomai went to Karnataka High Court. Okay, so now SR Bomai filed a petition in Karnataka High Court that the imposition of president's rule is wrong, and I was not even given a chance to prove my majority. I was not given a chance to bring confidence motion. What happened? That High Court of Karnataka rejected his petition. So now he was left with only one option, and that one option was to go to Supreme Court. So now what happened? That SR Bomai went to Supreme Court of India and he filed a petition in Supreme Court of India against the Union government that the imposition of president's rule in Karnataka was wrong. I was not even given a chance to prove my majority. I was not even given a chance to bring confidence motion in the house. Okay, so this case was taken by 9 judges bench. Okay, this case was taken by 9 judges bench of Supreme Court, and finally, after listening to the case and after all the long proceedings of the case, this 9 judges bench gave a very landmark and important decision, okay, which is very important for the concept of president's rule or what we call as state emergency. Okay, so now we need to study that what was the decision which was given by this 9 judges bench, okay, of Supreme Court. So this case is known as SR Bombay versus Union of India case, and this case was actually heard by a bench of 9 judges of Supreme Court. Okay, so now we need to study that what was the judgment, what was the decision given by this bench of Supreme Court, and this decision is extremely important for us for prelims as well as for mains examination. Now friends, there is one more thing you need to know, that actually the precedence rule was imposed on Karnataka in the month of April 1989. Okay, so the precedence rule was actually imposed in Karnataka on in the month of April 1989. Okay, so now let us discuss about the judgment given in SR Bommai versus Union of India case. So friends, the first point is that the powers of the president under Article 356 is not an absolute power. Rather it is a conditional power subject to the provisions of Constitution. Okay, so what is given in the judgment? So the first point was that the powers of the president under Article 356 is not an absolute power. Rather, it is a conditional power subject to the provisions of this Constitution. Now what does it mean? Okay, so now let me explain you that what does this point mean. So it actually means that, okay, so Supreme Court has said that under Article 356 of the Indian Constitution, President of India is given the power to impose President's rule on the state. Okay, so what Supreme Court said, that under Article 356 of the Indian Constitution, President of India is given the power to impose state emergency or President's rule on any state. But, okay, but there is a condition. The condition is that this is not the absolute power of the President. Okay, it is a conditional power of the President, which President has to use according to the provisions of Constitution. It means that President cannot impose President's rule on any state arbitrarily. Okay, President of India cannot impose President's rule on any state according to his own wish. President cannot use these powers arbitrarily, but President has to use these powers according to the rules, according to the provisions of the Constitution. Okay, so what Supreme Court said? Supreme Court said that this is not the absolute power of President. President cannot do anything what he wants. President cannot impose President's rule on any state according to his own wish. Okay, this is not the absolute power, but this is the conditional power. Conditional power means President has to use this power according to rules. President has to use these powers keeping the provisions of Constitution in mind. So this was the first point. It is little bit theoretical, but in the forthcoming points you will see that all the points are very much practical for protecting the states against the misuse of President's rule. Okay, so this judgment of Supreme Court was really very good for protecting the states from coming under unnecessary President's rule. Okay, so this is this. Okay, so you will understand this point better in the forthcoming points. Now friends, after this the next point is that it is not the satisfaction of the President, but in reality it is the satisfaction of Union Council of Ministers, only on whose advice President can act under Article 356 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so what Supreme Court said, that it is not the satisfaction of the President, but in reality it is the satisfaction of Union Council of Ministers, only on whose advice President can act under Article 356. Now what does it mean? So friends, remember in the first class of President's rule I told you that on the report of governor or otherwise, if President of India is satisfied that the constitutional machinery has failed in the state, or the government of the state can't be run according to the provisions of this Constitution, then President can impose President's rule on this state. Okay, so there I told you, if the President of India is satisfied on the report of governor or otherwise, if President of India is satisfied that the constitutional machinery is failed in the state. So for that satisfaction, Supreme Court is saying that it is not the satisfaction of the president, it is the satisfaction of the Union Council of Ministers. Okay, what Supreme Court said? Supreme Court said that even though it is written in the constitution that it is the satisfaction of the president, but in reality, okay, but this is only theoretical, but in reality it is the satisfaction of the Union Council of Ministers. So now what Supreme Court is saying, that what is the real provision? So the real provision is that if Union Council of Ministers, okay, if Union Council of Ministers is satisfied either on the report of governor or otherwise that the government of the state can't be run according to the provisions of this constitution, then the Union Council of Ministers will give advice to the President of India, and then on the advice of Union Council of Ministers, President can impose President's rule on the state. Okay, so it means that Supreme Court is saying that President cannot impose President's rule on his own. It is not the discretionary power of the President of India. Okay, so if Union Council of Ministers is satisfied that now government of the state can be run according to the provisions of the constitution, then Union Council of Ministers will give advice to the president, and then on the basis of the advice of Union Council of Ministers, President of India will impose the president's rule on the state. So this is the second point. Now friends, after this, the third point is that the imposition of president's rule in a state is subject to judicial review. Now what does it mean? It means that suppose the governor of the state sent a report to the central government that the constitutional machinery has failed in state. Now what happened? That Union Council of Ministers gave advice to the President of India to impose president's rule in that particular state. Okay, now what happened? That President of India imposed president's rule in that state. Okay, so now what court is saying? Supreme Court is saying that now judicial review of the president's rule can be done. Okay, so if President of India has imposed president rule on any state, if President of India has imposed state emergency on any state, then court has the power to do judicial review of that president's rule. Now what is this judicial review? So in the previous classes I taught you about the concept of judicial review in a very detailed manner. So if any one of you have not watched the class of judicial review, then please go back and watch that class. In short, I am telling that what court is saying, that court has the power to check that whether the president rule imposed by the President of India on any state is correct or not. Okay, so court can give its judgment regarding president's rule, that whether the imposition of president's rule was correct or it was done arbitrarily, it was wrong. Okay. Now friends, let's see what is the fourth point in the decision. So I told you that what is the process of the imposition of president's rule. So first of all, what happens, that the governor of any state sends the report to the central government. Okay, central government basically means the Union Council of Ministers. Okay, so what happens, that governor of the state sends one report to the Council of Ministers, and this report is actually about the affairs going on in the state, means about the performance of administration in the state, and many things are also included in this report. Okay, now friends, let's suppose it was written in the report. Okay, there are many points in the report. So it was written in the report that constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Okay, means the government of the state can't be run according to the provisions of the constitution. And governor have also listed some reasons that why governor is saying that these are the reasons on the basis of which governor is saying that constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Then what will happen, that Union Council of Ministers will give advice to the President of India to impose president's rule on that state, and based on the advice of Union Council of Ministers, President will impose president's rule or state emergency on a particular state. Okay, now let's see what Supreme Court is saying here. So here Supreme Court is saying that when the Supreme Court is saying that when the court will do judicial review Okay, when court will do judicial review of the president's rule, then at that point of time court cannot check that what advice was given from COM to the president. Okay, so court will not check that what COM said to president of India. Okay, so court will not check that what council of ministers said to president of India, but court will check that what report was given to council of ministers by the governor. Okay, so what court will check? Court will check that what report was given by the governor to the council of ministers, or what were the reasons on the basis of which governor was saying that constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Similarly, let's suppose that this time council of ministers came to get information from any other source. Okay, this time governor didn't send report. This time what happened, that council of ministers came to know from any other source that the constitutional machinery has failed in the state, and then based on the information of that source, council of ministers gave advice to president of India to impose president's rule, and then president imposed the president's rule. So now court is saying that now when court will do the judicial review, then court will not look that what advice was given by council of ministers to president. Court will look that what were the material facts, what was the content of the source on the basis of which council of ministers gave advice to president. Okay, so court can check for two things. First of all, court can check that what was the report, what were the points in the report which was given by governor to the council of ministers, or if there is any other external source, then court can also check that what was the content of that source on the basis of which council of ministers gave this type of advice to the president of India. And friends, okay, so what I told you, that court can check for the report given by governor or any other source from where the government of India came to know that constitutional machinery has failed in state. So when court will do judicial review, so at that point of time, if court finds that the report of governor is malified, if the report of governor is corrupt, okay, means the facts mentioned there are not correct. Okay, governor have not listed the correct reasons for the imposition of president's rule. Similarly, if court finds that this source is also corrupt, this source is malified, court finds that all the irrelevant information was given in that source. Okay, so what I told you, that if court, okay, so first of all, what will court do? Court will examine the report which was given by governor, or court will examine any other source or any other report from where government of India came to know about the failure of constitutional machinery in the state. And if court finds that this report is corrupt, if court finds that this report is malified, if court finds that no reason is sufficient for the imposition of president rule, then in this case court can declare the action of president, means president's rule, as null and void. Okay, so what I am saying that if court finds that the material facts or report on the basis of which this advice was given to president, if court finds this material fact or report to be irrelevant or malified, then action of president can be declared unconstitutional and null and void. Okay, and then what will be happen, that president's rule will be declared null and void. Now friends, after this, the next point is that the report of governor to the president about the affairs of the state must be a speaking document. Now what does it mean? So speaking document means it must be a clear document. Okay, so speaking document basically means that it must be clearly written. Okay, it must be clearly written in the report of governor that how exactly the constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Okay, so if governor is giving a report to the president of India, if governor is giving a report to the president of India about the affairs of state, and in that report if governor is writing that constitutional machinery has failed in the state, then governor must give all the reasons governor must write that why I am saying that. Governor must write this clearly that these are the reasons on the basis of which I am saying that the constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Okay, so governor should not use ambiguous language. Governor should only give the clear cut reasons that these are the reasons on the basis of which I am saying that the constitutional machinery has failed in the state. Now friends, after this, the next point is that the support of the chief minister, okay, the support of chief minister in the assembly must always be tested on the floor of house and not in the governor's office. Now what does it mean? So here I told you the entire story of the formation of SR Bommai case. So what actually happened, that the governor, okay, the governor himself assumed that CM has lost majority in legislative assembly, and actually it was not tested on the floor of house, and SR Bommai was requesting that kindly call the session of house and there I will prove my majority, there I will bring the confidence motion and then I will get the confidence motion passed, and in this way I will prove that still I am having absolute majority in legislative assembly. So now Supreme Court is saying that governor should not decide himself that whether chief minister is having majority or not. Okay, the test must be conducted in legislative assembly. Okay, means the government should bring confidence motion, and if government is fail and if confidence motion is failed, then definitely it means that government has lost majority, and if confidence motion is passed, then it means that still government is having absolute majority in legislative assembly. So this is the meaning of sixth judgment. Now friends, after this the next point is that the dismissal of state council of ministers, okay, and dissolution of state assembly means state legislative assembly, must not be done simultaneously. Assembly should be dissolved only after the imposition of president's rule is approved by the parliament. Now what does it mean? So we need to understand that what this statement of Supreme Court means. So friend, this means that, for example, let's suppose if the President of India has imposed the President's rule or state emergency on a particular state. Okay, so now I told you that when the President's rule is imposed on any state, so instantly what happens, that the union, okay, not union, that the state council of ministers headed by chief minister. Okay, so when the president's rule is imposed on any state, so instantly what happens, that council of ministers headed by chief minister. Okay, so council of ministers and chief minister of that state is instantly dismissed. Okay, so instantly dismissed means they are instantly removed from their post. So now Supreme Court is saying that okay, you can dismiss the council of ministers and chief minister instantly from their post, but you should not dissolve the legislative assembly. You should not dissolve the legislative assembly till the time this president's rule is approved by both the houses of parliament. Means it is approved by Lok Sabha as well as it is approved by Rajya Sabha. Okay, so what Supreme Court is saying, that when president's rule is being imposed on any state, then okay, you can dismiss state council of ministers and chief minister instantly, but you should not dissolve the state legislative assembly along with council of ministers. Okay, you should wait till the time president's rule is approved by the parliament, and once the president rule is approved by the parliament, then only you should dissolve the state legislative assembly. So friends, now the eighth decision was that if court comes to the conclusion that the imposition of president's rule was unconstitutional, okay, then court can even direct the revival of council of ministers and restoration of state legislative assembly. Now what does it mean? So I told you that when the president's rule is imposed on any state, then what happens, that first of all the council of ministers and chief minister is dismissed. Okay, so first of all what happens, that the council of ministers headed by chief minister, they are dismissed. And after that, if the president's rule is approved by the parliament, then what happens, that the state legislative assembly is dissolved. Okay, means it is also dissolved. So now what court is saying here? So court is saying that if court comes to the conclusion, okay, so what court will do? Court will do judicial review, and court will study the report on the basis of which Council of Ministers have given the advice to the President of India to impose the president's rule. Okay, so court will analyze that report, and if court found that this report is malified, that this report is corrupt, okay, this report is irrelevant, and the president's rule which was imposed on the state is unconstitutional, it is not correct, it is not according to the provisions of constitution, then what court will do? Then court will declare that president's rule null and void, and after that court will give order to what? To revive the Council of Ministers and Chief Minister. Now what does it mean? It means that the Council of Ministers and Chief Ministers which were earlier removed from their post, now they will rejoin their post. Now they will be restored on their posts. Similarly, even if the state legislative assembly is dissolved, then also court can give order for the restoration. Okay, for the revival, for the restoration of state legislative assembly. Means now all the MLAs which were earlier the part of state legislative assembly, now these MLAs will again rejoin on their post. So this is 8th decision. Now friends, after this the 9th judgment was, secularism is the basic feature of Indian constitution. Okay, and any state government which is liable of violating any part of the basic structure will be dismissed, and the imposition of president's rule on that state will be valid. Now what does it mean? So here Supreme Court is saying, okay, that secularism, so I have taught you the topic of secularism in a very detailed manner in the previous classes. So if any of the students have not watched the lecture of secularism, then please go back and watch the lecture in which I taught you about secularism. So here Supreme Court is saying that secularism is the basic feature of Indian constitution. So it means that it is the part of the basic structure of Indian constitution. After that, Supreme Court is saying that if any of the state government will violate any part of the basic structure of the constitution, then it will be dismissed. And then if president rule is imposed on that state, then the president rule will be valid. Now I can give one example so that you can understand this more easily. So let's suppose what happens, that let's suppose that the government of state, okay, means let's suppose any one state government, means the government of one state. Now this government is aligned towards one particular religion. Okay, so what government is doing? Government is favoring the people of one particular religion. Okay, and government is discriminating against other religions. So this is against the principles of secularism, and due to this practice of government, what is happening, that the people of one particular religion, means the favorite religion of government, these people are feeling empowered. So now they what they are doing, they are just trying to suppress the people of other religions. Now due to which other religions are also opposing the government, and they are also opposing and they are also fighting with the people of the government's favorite religion. Okay, and due to which what is happening, that the communalism is increasing in the state, and it can also result into communal riots, it can also result into religious quarrels. Okay, now it can also result into statewide communal riots, due to which many people can lose their life, due to which it can result into the loss of the life and property. Okay, so now what is happening here? So here what is happening, that the government is violating secularism. So on this ground, now the president's rule can be imposed on that particular state. Okay, so this is the simple thing which Supreme Court is saying. Okay, so again I am repeating this example for you. So what I am saying, that let's suppose if the government of any state is favoring one particular religion and government is discriminating against other religions. So in simple words, this is the violation of secularism. And if any state government will violate any part of the basic structure of Indian constitution, then on the basis of this, president's rule can be imposed on that state. So as secularism is a part of basic structure, so now if the state government is dismissed, and if the president's rule is imposed, then it is totally constitutional and valid. So this is the ninth point. Friends, here in this lecture, I have tried to cover all the important points in the decision of Supreme Court. Okay, in this lecture, I have tried to cover all the important points of the decision given by Supreme Court in SR Bommai versus Union of India case. So I hope that you all must try to understand these decisions, these points in the decisions, and you will try to remember these decisions, because they will be very, very helpful to you in your prelims exam as well as in your mains exam. Because whenever the president's rule is imposed on any state, so now the union government and the president of India has to take care of the guidelines which are given by the Supreme Court. Okay. So friends, that's all for today. I hope that you all must have enjoyed the lecture, and if you have enjoyed the lecture, then please like the video, comment, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and select all. Now we will meet in next class with a fresh topic. Till then, stay indoors, stay healthy, take care of yourself. Thank you.